Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Biden is endorsing House Speaker Mike Johnson's plan to provide foreign security aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan in separate bills. Democrats meet this morning to discuss it. At least two Republicans say publicly the speaker should lose his job over it.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has teased using the motion to vacate against Speaker Mike Johnson. Democrats like Jared Moskowitz are floating the idea of helping Johnson keep his job.
Under no circumstance am I going to sit by and let Marjorie Taylor Greene help Vladimir Putin and President Xi.
On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Democrat-led Senate dismisses the House Republican case against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas without holding a trial, saying a dispute over border policy does not rise to the level of impeachment. The impeachment articles accuse Mayorkas of not enforcing the law and lying about the state of border security. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
And right now is let's see what's obtained to think about this one. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Yeah, so happy it's Thursday. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And the gang's all here.
Yes.
And it's cool. Barely cool outside. Upper 60s right now. Going to climb to be hot today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I found out last night. I checked. I said, a couple of days ago I went out on the boat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got my knees were sunburned. My neck is sunburned. I am officially a redneck.
That's funny.
That's the way it goes. Hey, back on this date, the year was 1906, early morning before dawn, out there on the West Coast, 5:13 in the morning, an earthquake estimated at close to 8.0 on the Richter scale hit San Francisco, leaving an estimated 3,000 people dead as it toppled numerous buildings. The quake was caused by a slip of the San Andreas Fault over a segment about 275 miles in length. Shockwaves could be felt from southern Oregon down to L.A. San Francisco's brick buildings and wooden Victorian structures were devastated. Fires immediately broke out, and because broken water mains, I didn't even know they had central water mains in those days, prevented firefighters from stopping them. Firestorms soon developed citywide. San Francisco's mayor issued a dusk to dawn curfew and authorized soldiers who had been called up to shoot and kill anyone found looting. Couldn't get away with that today, could you? Meanwhile, in the face of significant aftershocks, firefighters and U.S. troops fought desperately to control the ongoing fire, often dynamiting whole city blocks to create firewalls. By the 23rd of April, most fires were out, and authorities commenced to the task of rebuilding the devastated metropolis. 100 and almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
Man. And they've had a few significant earthquakes since then. It was one of 7 point something in the late 1980s.
Yeah, 89.
They're in the World Series, in fact. They had to stop the World Series game.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do too. Wow. What a time. What's going on in your world?
What's going on yours?
I just had to reset Facebook. It's acting a little wonky this morning.
Well, not that unusual.
It's on.
Yeah, we're up and running. For you folks who may be new to us and listening to us and things like that, we've been around for a bit. Actually, I've been doing this stuff here, this gig, since 2011. Since the 11/1/2011, in fact. So I've been around for quite a while. Y'all have joined the team, and we've got a good run going here. So a lot of folks do not realize where we are yet. We're trying to re-educate you, or to educate you. So I still have people say, I haven't heard you on the radio lately. Where you been? So, well, we kind of moved channels. So we're trying to do a re-education process. So if you know some folks out there that may have wondered where we are and what happened to us, we're here. Please share our information. If you don't mind, put it on your Facebook. Just share our links and all that sort of good stuff. We would appreciate it. So we can try to recapture some of the people who still aren't aware where we went. We've got many platforms here. Of course, the primary platforms are WSME 97.1. That's on the FM dial. And on your AM side, Don't diss AM. It's there. It's thriving. We're at 11:20 AM. And that station, that particular transmitter, reaches up into the Pamlico County, down into New Hanover County and areas. It might get spotty at times, but Craven County is mostly solid. Carteret County, mostly solid. Pender County, a big chunk of Pender County, solid. Reason I know this because I travel these areas and I, follow it on AM. The AM quality audio, by the way, put a new transmitter in about 2 years ago, and the audio quality is much better than the old style audio that used to be there. That that was this nature of the beast. But the new one is doing wonders. It's out there, and she sounds good.
Well, I told you we had somebody that texted me last week and said he was listening all the way into Fremont, North Carolina.
That's over there. I think we're in Robinson County area.
Yes.
Down, not too far from the state line, South Carolina line.
He was, I was like, wow,
Yeah,
pretty good.
I've heard
Good,
us-
clear, he said.
I've heard us far and wide. Now, AM, particularly AM, depends upon weather conditions more than anything else. When you get beyond the immediate ground wave, that's the immediate coverage area. If you get on down there into areas like Fremont or the South Carolina line, I've heard us down into South Carolina, the northern part. But it depends upon conditions, not just
listened-
weather, but the what they call propagation.
I listened one day to the AM station going into Greene County, Snow Hill.
I've heard of things all the way almost to Raleigh
Right.
at times. So
It's out there.
works out
We're
there.
good.
Okay, coming up this morning at 11 o'clock, we're going to be somewhere else thinking about lunch. At 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to be having a visit by phone from Senator Tom Tillis, one of our 2 North Carolina senators.
Right.
And I know some of the stuff he's going to be talking about, and part of it's going to be the miserably failed, and I don't think things were done properly, but we'll discuss that as we get along this morning. In the Senate yesterday, where they just wholeheartedly said, that whole mess that the House approved, calling for Mayorkas getting rid of him, it's unconstitutional,
He got
they said.
Quite contentious in there yesterday, too.
As it should have. Disgusting news for our neighboring Tennessee. Another police officer has been killed, shot dead when confronting 2 teenagers. New news on that, too, so stand by. A community in Memphis is in mourning after the police officer was killed in a shootout last week. Officer Joseph McKinney killed in the line of duty after exchanging gunfire with 2 teenagers. 18-year-old Jalen Lobley, one of the shooters, was killed. The unidentified 17-year-old is in custody. McKinney joined the Memphis PD in 2020, 26 years of age, leaves behind a wife and a daughter. Now, there's more to the story. In March, Lobley had a bond hearing after his arrest for having 2 stolen vehicles and a Glock converted to a fully automatic 9mm
No
machine gun.
way. Oh,
my.
man.
That in itself is a federal offense. However, the prosecuting attorney said he did not see Lobley as a flight risk, and he did not have any prior criminal history. He did clarify that Lobley was just 18, so there will obviously be no prior criminal record as far as adult courts are concerned. He said if there were juvenile offenses committed, he would not have access to them. He argued that perhaps the $10,000 bond did seem a little bit low, but since Lobley was to be in court the very next day, there was no need to adjust it. And he says, I wouldn't even mind if you reduced the bond. Really? The judicial commissioner did lower the bond. In fact, he released Lobley on his own recognizance without Lobley having to pay anything. Did he show up for court the next day? What do you think?
No.
Less than a month later, Lobley and the 17-year-old were involved in a shootout with the police, leaving Officer McKinney dead. As we noted, Lobley was also killed. Good. The Shelby County DA is seeking to have the 17-year-old tried as an adult. Finally, they're doing something right. Act like an adult, and you're going to be a thug. You should be treated as one.
I agree.
What I want to know, folks, where are the activists in Tennessee screaming for justice for the police, for this officer? What are McKinney's fellow officers doing? Are Are they running back there and screaming and hollering back on the streets? They're back on the streets, not protesting at all, just doing their jobs. Just imagine.
Where were their parents when they were growing up? What kind of upbringing did they have?
Where was the DA? Where was this commissioner that the judicial commissioner that lowered the bond on a guy that should have been charged under a federal statute for possession of a machine pistol, a machine gun, fully automatic weapon?
Unreal.
Where was the judicial system?
Where did this take place at?
Memphis.
Oh, wow. I would have thought Washington, Oregon, the way you're, or Massachusetts, the way you're reading that. Memphis.
Had a
That's
machine
scary.
gun, a converted pistol into a machine gun, which doubles everything.
That's scary.
And he also had 2 stolen cars.
And
What a thug.
I just can't. I just do not understand.
Should have been no bond right up front on that one, and then put a hold. Where was the ATF in this case? Why didn't they get involved in the first place? Did Memphis not notify ATF? I know there's an ATF office in Memphis. Why didn't they notify ATF? Hey, we got a machine pistol with a guy that is 18 years old. Y'all want to hold on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you betcha. So many people did not do their jobs that cost a cop his life.
I agree. Things need to change. Sad. We hear these stories.
Disgusting.
And it scares me that someday it's going to hit very, very close to home.
I would, as things go right now, if that kind of malarkey plays out in Onslow County with the professional law enforcement personnel that we have, and especially at the top of the heap, that ain't going to stand by. That's not going to happen. With our district attorney, do you think he's going to stand by and not fight for a large? He himself, I assume, would be notifying the U.S. attorney.
Oh, yes. You can better believe our district attorney.
An 18-year-old with a machine pistol that he converted into a fully automatic weapon?
Oh,
Who are the other people? Where has anybody else been arrested? Where did he get the gun? He's 18 years old. He can't have the gun. Where did he get it? Where did he get the Glock in the first place?
Our world.
Stole it?
It's horrible.
Somebody stole it.
Bought it off the street from somebody?
Guarantee you somebody stole it. Either he stole it. Well, he had 2 stolen cars too, so who knows?
Right. Little masturine going on there.
Gangster.
Yep. Thug. With a big T.
Well, I'm glad he's dead. There was no redeeming factors in him. And they need to unseal his juvenile record. We need to know how far back this has gone.
They will never do that.
He did not start at 18.
I agree. That's what I say. I would love to know his background, growing up, everything.
Mhm.
Of course, we'll never get to see
Oh,
it.
no.
You'll
but
never hear that.
It sure is curious, though.
I'm not going to make any.
You could probably just about write the scenario out
Oh,
yourself.
Yeah, I guarantee you we could do that. Well, the U.S. House did its job, passing along an impeachment recommendation for Homeland Security Chief Alejandro Mayorkas. Unfortunately, the Democrat-controlled Senate shot it down instantly. Honestly, did anyone expect anything differently? Did you think the Senate, which is controlled by the Democrats, would let that go through? That would be a slap in the face for their presidential candidate, first of all. Personally, if I was Biden at this point in time, I would say, I don't really care what the Senate did. Mr. Mayorkas, I don't think I need you in my corner anymore. You haven't done the job that you were supposed to do. Never mind that I stood in your way. But I'm going to cover my own butt right now and get rid of you. Goodbye. Because it's my life, my future here at stake, the future of the Democrat Party. I would explain it to the man very quickly. So now you either turn in your resignation or I'm going to find somebody else. Democrats in the Senate argued that a felony, which is what he was accused of, is not an impeachable offense. Well, it's more than a felony that he's accused of is failing to carry out the duties, failing to enforce the laws that he's sworn to uphold. That is an impeachable offense, in my personal opinion. In the beginning, Democrats proposed points of order after senators were sworn in as jurors to deem both of the House-passed articles of impeachment unconstitutional. First thing they did, let's say that these these articles that the House passed for impeachment, we're going to say they're unconstitutional, therefore we can go home. Votes on the points of order were along party lines, with all Democrats agreeing that both articles were in fact unconstitutional. We definitely, in about 35 minutes, are going to hear a whole lot more about that from Senator Tillis, who was in the chambers. He was there, and he's not going to be a happy camper today.
Can't wait to hear it.
All right.
Real quick before you go to weather news, Nala, the dog that has been missing, is home.
Yeah.
Yes.
She showed up on the doorstep one morning. They saw her on a Ring camera at like 3 a.m. She decided to come home.
Wonder where.
So she is home.
wonder where
I
she would
still wonder if someone didn't drop her off there.
That was my thoughts,
Maybe
because they said she'd been gone for that period of time, probably in the woods.
Probably
I think it would have kind of been apparent. She came in with birds and dirt and mud.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She came in clean. I have a picture of her online.
Yeah.
maybe.
I just have always wondered if somebody didn't have that.
I'm just happy she's
I'm
home.
very happy.
I'm happy she's home.
Dogs do wander from time to time. Cats do wander a lot from time to time. We got some disgusting news from
Yes.
Newport I'll talk to you about when we get back.
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad.
your blood's going to boil this morning, Kelly. Your blood is going to boil. Not a doubt in my mind. Dead or dying tree limbs are not only an eyesore, they can be a problem with severe weather, especially with storms that produce high winds. Yeah. That doesn't have to be a hurricane. That can be like some of the winds we had last week. It's wise to check with professionals that can take care of those problems before the Atlantic hurricane season starts on June 1st.
No.
What long is that? 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks away, y'all. While you're looking around, check out any outbuildings that you have. Standalone structures can be toppled and end up causing extensive damage to your home with flying debris. One suggestion is to install special hurricane straps on those buildings that cross the buildings in 2 or more places, secured to anchors in the ground. The straps are much like those used to secure mobile homes to keep them from toppling over. This severe weather tip, my computer's going crazy this morning. This severe weather tip is brought to you by none other than John Starrs Electric right here in Jacksonville. Now might be a good time to have the John Starrs team take a look at your home and offer suggestions on how a Generac standby generator can help you with when the lights go out. Aside from being a bit of a nuisance, a power outage that lasts not only hours, but perhaps many cases 2 or more days can be pretty expensive and definitely irritating. We've become very dependent on electricity, from electric toothbrushes to chargers for our cell phones to our entire entertainment world. Your freezers, it's downright maddening to not have electricity. Not sure how much stuff you have in your freezers, but if you add up the cost of the meats, seafoods, and frozen veggies, I'm sure you don't want to lose all of that. Why not power up your life with a Generac generator from John Starrs Electric? Call 910-989-1908 today. Now is the ideal time of the year to take advantage of the professionals. It's all turnkey and worry-free, and they service what they sell. Again, the number to call, 910-989-1908. You're live and local, and we'll be right back with weather.
Week on American Top 40, the 70s, Casey Kasem takes you back to April 23rd, 1977. You'll hear all the top 40 hits and great stories as only Casey can tell them. So be sure to join Casey as he revisits April 23rd, 1977 this weekend on American Top 40, the 70s.
Check out Casey Saturday morning. It's 8 to 11 on Freedom 97.1, 11:20 a.m. WSME.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Get Ahead at Work.
It's simple. Just ask for a meeting with your supervisor. While you're discussing the latest sales reports, just slip into the conversation that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Whoa! The business savvy you showed saving hundreds of dollars on home insurance will have you running seminars on saving money in no time.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
In a season of falling temperatures and rising energy bills, your local Bryant professional is always ready, standing by to protect your home's comfort and defend you from uncomfortable temperatures and the higher energy bills associated with them. Ready to do whatever it takes for your home, your family, and you to be comfortable without breaking the bank. Because when the temperature falls, that's when your local Bryant professional turns up the heat efficiently.
Call Down East Heating and Air Conditioning at 346-4311 and let them keep you comfortable this winter. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, serving our community for over 25 years. Also, Down East can help you with your home guttering needs. Call Down East today at 346-4311.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Our Marine Outlook is a courtesy of Community Prevention Service of Jacksonville. At one time or another, a lot of us we probably will need a little help with issues that seem insurmountable. Whether it's a problem with your job or maybe it's family related, sometimes just being able to talk with a professional who's trained and being able to offer support can get you on the right track. Some folks feel alone, perhaps thinking the world is working against them. Don't despair. Call the professional folks at Community Prevention Service in Jacksonville. The staff will help you work through the issues you're experiencing. Everyone at one time or another needs a helping hand. And at Community Prevention Service, the staff will provide you with quality, confidential counseling for individuals ages 7 to 100. Call them today, 910-353-0972. Don't wait until the problem becomes a crisis. Community Prevention Service. They're located at 918 Henderson Drive. Again, the number 910-353-0972. Today, good news first. The surf water temperature is in the mid-60s. That's along much of our coastline here in the southeastern part of North Carolina. That's when the bonito are biting. And believe me, they're doing that right now. Right behind the bonito and already mixed in with the schools, you'll find an increase in Spanish mackerel along the beaches. Take advantage of the good weather and calm seas forecast and pick up some fish for dinner. Southwesterly winds offshore today, 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4, dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Tomorrow, easterly winds 10 to 15, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers a moderate chop again. And on Saturday, southwesterly winds 5 to 10, becoming southerly in the afternoon, seas very nice, 2 to 3 feet, sounds and rivers only a light chop.
Today, sunny, high of 86. Tonight, mostly clear and a low of 60. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 79. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 61. And on Saturday, partly sunny, high of 82.
And carry the sunscreen with you.
Yeah.
My knees will attest to that. My neck back here will attest to it. My ears will attest to it.
Well, my many visits to the dermatologist for skin cancer
There you go.
will attest to that,
Yeah, that too. That'll do it too.
Mhm.
Some disgusting news from Newport, right around the corner here from us. A man there faces 2 misdemeanor charges for taking, then killing his neighbor's cat. What did you say? And he's a suspect in the disappearance of a second cat belonging to the same neighbor. Jerry Allen Box was arrested after Brian Moore checked his surveillance video when he couldn't find his cat. He watched Box with a carrier containing Cleo, his cat, one of his two cats. The video also shows, according to Moore, Box returning from the wooded area with an empty carrier. He was released after he was arrested on a $1,500 bond. Moore checked the area, found his cat dead from a gunshot wound. Box is charged with cruelty to animals and illegally discharging a firearm. Both of those are misdemeanors. Mr. Moore would prefer those charges be escalated to include a felony. What
about theft?
How do you kill somebody's cat and be charged with a misdemeanor after you shoot it?
I think you should get
But
the
what
death
about
penalty.
theft and trespassing?
No, the cat comes onto his yard. He's already said that.
Yes.
So
yes.
he
Okay,
likely
but hold
caught-
up. Where did he trap the cat on his yard?
Yes.
Or on the? Did
Likely,
he go
who
in the
knows?
man's yard?
We don't know.
What does it say?
It doesn't say. Doesn't say where they went. Don't know. They don't. They got the video of him going into the woods with a cat carrier and coming back with an empty cat cage.
Right.
That's all the story says. I
And
don't
he's
know
still
what the warrant
missing
says.
the other cat,
and
too.
the other cat's still missing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, where did
Well, the man
camera.
said, the owner of the cat said this guy made a statement last week that he's tired of, he doesn't like this guy's cat coming onto his property.
it's a
It's the
cat
way
for
cats
goodness sakes?
travel.
Come on.
That's what cats do.
So I don't know.
We have cats all over our neighborhood. A lot of them are feral.
Make that guy
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. I wanted to slip in right quick before y'all talk to the illustrious senator.
Mm-hmm.
And wanted to speak about what you were saying this morning about them dismissing that impeachment in the Senate.
Mhm.
I
It
think Chuck
wouldn't,
Schumer
it
made
wouldn't
a
even
huge
let it go
mistake.
to wouldn't even let it go to a trial or hearing.
I mean, from a adult in the room standpoint, it was kind of the right thing to do, but I think it was a huge mistake politically. He should have let it go, drag on for at least a week, and let all these Republican senators go on the Sunday talk shows and explain what the high crime and misdemeanor was.
Uh-huh.
I listened to the articles of impeachment, listened to him read them, and I didn't hear him cite a single federal or state statute that was violated. I ain't saying that I agree with what the guy did, but I believe everything he did was signed off on by the White House.
So we should
I
not
don't
impeach
understand.
him. We should impeach the president.
If that's what they want to do, the buck stops there. And if they did impeach him, even if everybody was, agreed to it, who gets to pick the next one?
Nobody. The next one is already picked.
Well, I'm just saying is, doesn't the White House get to choose the next secretary if they impeach him?
Oh, you talk about Mayorkas. Yeah, the White House, the president gets to pick, yes.
So it would have been a frivolous impeachment anyway.
I don't know.
I mean,
yeah.
it's symbolic. It would have been symbolic more than, having any substance to it.
I would assume that anybody who replaced him would look at what his record is about not doing anything along the border and enforcing what the White House policy is. That's not what he's sworn to do. He's sworn to uphold the law.
Well, and I don't disagree with you there, but what he did was signed off on by the White House. It wasn't something he did in contrast to what the White House was telling him to do.
So if
their biggest thing was the catch and release. That seemed what they were leaning on the most. And just like when we talked with the sheriff, you got a logistics issue. They do not have the facilities and the resources to incarcerate all those people.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be a relief valve of some kind, unless they want, and Congress is willing to give the money.
Why not just keep them south of the border? Don't let them come into this country. If they do come into this country, kick them back out.
Well, but to do that would require a change in our laws, and that's what we were kind of on the verge of doing, and that got tanked. To do what you say do, and I ain't saying I agree or disagree with it, it would take a change in our laws.
So we're going to go back and blame Trump, right?
No, I'm saying I don't really blame Trump for that. Trump saying he wanted that bill killed should not have killed that bill. It's the people who are doing his bidding that is the problem.
Trump is an unelected person with no power. I don't care what he
Should
says.
be that way.
I don't know. It is that way. I don't care what he says. I don't have to do it.
Well, if he had to say he has no power, he only has power because of the people who give it to him, just like Johnson going down there and kissing the ring these past couple of weekends. You know, they are giving him that power.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have it, but they are giving it to him. And they're the ones that are making this, you know, causing this problem. So, but anyway, I wanted to come and ring in on that this morning. You know, that I think he made a political mistake doing it. They should have let it play out a little bit more because it was frivolous, and they would have highlighted that. It would have been shown if they would have just talked about it more.
Yeah. I think we the people deserve better.
Well, the last time you talked to Mr. Tillis, you asked him about it, and he said he was going to have to wait till those articles of impeachment got to the Senate, and he's seen a high crime or misdemeanor in there.
Well,
that was the answer he gave, and I was very happy about that answer. Because what that meant was up to that point, he had not seen anything that rose to a high crime or misdemeanor.
Well, he was waiting to see what he was, and once the House did it, he put out a statement last week. He was going to be voting for impeachment.
Well,
didn't get that far.
Once again,
too bad, Tom.
I get it, but once again, you know, what is the high crime and misdemeanor? You know,
now,
you know,
we always talk.
You would have a federal or state statute number that would go along with that.
We always talk about high crimes, but there's also that word misdemeanors in there. Failing to do the job you're sworn to do in most jurisdictions. I'll have to go check, and I'll ask Senator Tom this morning about that. Most jurisdictions, if the sheriff fails to carry out the duties he's sworn to uphold, if any of his deputies, if any police officers, if the chief of police, if the mayor or the county commissioners fail to carry out the jobs, they can be arrested for malfeasance in office. That's a misdemeanor.
Okay, but let's put this more in apples and apples. If a deputy sheriff did something that did not uphold the law in the way they should, and then the sheriff came out and said he done it at my direction, does that change things?
Nope.
You know, when you go after the sheriff for not upholding the law, then
both. Let me ask you. Let me put this one to you. For instance, a police officer, a rookie police officer, goes out there and they arrest the sheriff's or a deputy sheriff arrests the sheriff's best friend, and the sheriff says, "You can't do that." You know, once a police officer makes an arrest, he cannot unarrest that person without going before the district attorney and the courts. The district attorney does not have to even allow him to unarrest him because there's no such thing as an arrest. It has to follow the process of law.
Well, and that's where I say, you know, I mean, I ain't saying that I agree with the policies he's been enacting, but he serves at the behest of the president, and if the White House gives him marching orders, he's kind of supposed to follow it, or he can stand up and say this is unlawful. I'm not going to follow it.
Okay,
you know, I guess there is that option.
Mr. Mayorkas says, here's what I want you to do as the chief of that unit. I want you to go out there and I want you to send about 4 of your guys out there to eliminate some individuals because the president doesn't want them around.
Yeah, that's kind of going out on a limb there, right?
So what happens at that point in time? What happens at that point in time?
That's a little different than what we're talking about. What we're talking about is, you know, the main thing they were fussing about is that he was not incarcerating everybody they apprehended like the law says he's supposed to.
Okay. Well, we can have a difference opinion in law.
I was going to say, what do they do if they don't have the resources and the facilities to accommodate that?
You keep them south of the border. Do not let them in. If they show up, get in, send them back. We used to send them back in on a regular basis.
If they did that in the ACLU, immediately filed suit with them.
Bless their hearts.
Why are we letting them in? Why?
No, because the president said to.
We have a law that says that you ask for asylum and fill out a form I-589.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Give you due process.
See, so many of these people haven't even come across the border at legal entry points, so they're not asking for asylum. You know that.
Well, anyway, that's my 2 thoughts.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents this morning.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
All right. Y'all
Bye.
Bye.
North Carolinians are betting millions of dollars on sports betting these days.
Yeah, I saw that.
Between the 11th of March and the end of the month, that's only, 20 days from the beginning? North Carolina residents wagered $600 million payouts total 660 million. Payouts total 600 million. In February, 8 vendors were chosen to operate online sports books in the state. The lottery says the state must tax 18% of the gross wagering revenue. So the state should be getting 18% of $660 million, correct?
Yes.
That's the amount of the winnings before any deductions. Already, residents are being warned that easy gambling like this could become addictive. Okay, Kelly.
Yep.
Since the queen of addiction is here,
It's a problem.
there's a problem. You got clients.
I have clients that are even addicted to those illegal backroom gambling machines at some of these local shops. And I mean, it has gotten so bad with some of them where their families are suffering. They're not paying their bills. They don't have food. They've actually sold kids items like video games, Xboxes, etc., to get money to pay for their illegal habit. I see this is going to just get worse.
You know, one of the first things that occurs when in other cities, we don't have it around here, thank God, knock on some wood, we have not had this issue here, right? With law enforcement in a lot of places, they get caught up, and police officers get caught up just like other individuals do in gambling and get in over their heads. They borrow money. They get hooked up with loan sharks. One of the first things, if they get hurt or killed on the line of duty, when there's an investigation, you know, one of the first things they start asking, does he have a gambling, a drinking, or a carousing problem? Is there somebody that's payback time?
Right.
That's just what they ask the families.
I saw the sports betting information yesterday, and I was talking to some other colleagues in a different county. We were actually discussing this very thing, and it is very easy to get hooked very quickly. And they were betting on stuff like March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about football season. I think that number will significantly grow during football season.
Well, you know, legally speaking,
and college sports,
even those pools that people get into during a lot of it during March Madness,
All
during
the
World
schools.
Series, during the whatever other major World Series and the big football games, World Series, the whatever that's called. All of those things. There are pools that are set up in offices that is very open to the management.
We did it at post office.
That could probably become a federal offense at the post office.
We did it at the post
well,
office.
my friend has a client that we're talking with this new sports betting thing. They were betting on March Madness $20,000 a game. It's a lot of money. We're talking a lot of money.
$660 million in 20 days.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you
a
have to
lot of
say-
money.
A lot of money.
It was all brand new to people at the time that were just jumping in.
Well, some of them had been, some of the people that are doing that now had been illegally betting through online things when, you know, other Vegas betting and that
Sure.
kind of thing. And now they're all super excited that it became a thing here. I mean,
Yeah,
it's very
jump
easy
right
and
into
very
it.
quickly to get caught up in it because let's say you win $300. I'm just throwing a number out there.
How much does it
And
cost
you're
to
like,
win
I won
$300?
$300.
I'm going to invest that.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Let me turn around. And
Just
it's
like at the slot machines
those
that I
people that
watched
go
them
to
do
these
it.
slots, these back room slots, they win a little bit of money, and then they'll sit there for hours and just feed the money in.
And at the end of the evening, they have nothing.
Most of the time, sometimes people do win up from what I've been told, and they apparently the stores. I'm talking about these back room places. Pay out immediately, right then and there. They pay you. So
Sure.
let's say if you win $3,000, they're going to give you $3,000 right then and there.
Well, they've got it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So people actually do win on those. Those slots are illegal in North Carolina.
Yes, they are.
So,
If it pays out anything of value, those slots are illegal.
yeah. But they're in back room. Most of them are in like mom and
You
pop
watch
type
it. Those will be next.
establishments.
Those
they-
will be next.
Those have been rated a lot over the past 10 years.
Yes, they
even
have.
in
But
Osborne
you watch
County.
to see. Eventually, there'll be legislation on those with rules and restrictions.
On
they'll
the
be
sports
allowed.
betting or the slots?
On the slots.
So they're illegal.
Yeah, I'm saying
There
that.
already
I
is a
know they're
legislation.
illegal, Kelly, but I'm just saying that eventually you'll see something come out legalizing.
Oh,
them.
legalizing. I don't think so.
Yes.
No,
I don't think so.
I
Because
think
the
you will
state
see
will
it.
have no
There's
way.
already
is
been
having no
talk
way.
about it.
There's no. You would have to have a casino type operation, and we certainly don't want those
Well,
kind of
yeah,
gaming.
they're trying to put casinos in North Carolina.
Well, yeah, but that's
Yeah, but
they
that-
can do that in the on the Indian reservations.
Well, they tried to do it in my home county. Phil Berger and his crew were trying to put one right near a school,
Right.
but it got shut down.
It did.
The county
But right now-
citizens threatened all the commissioners with, "We will unelect you," and blah, and they voted it
All
down.
that right now is laying quietly in a committee. So don't think it won't resurface. It
Well,
will.
I'm sure it will come up, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
one little step here, one little step there, and the closer we get to becoming a Vegas,
Mhm.
and that's not going to be good.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just anxious to see what they're going to do with all the money that the state's gotten so far.
Okay, good luck trying to figure that out.
Well, first of all, they got to pay all the expenses,
Mhm.
and then there's going to be a percentage here and a percentage there. 18% of $660 million. I don't know how much that is.
I started to do that and I was like,
I
man,
got to find all the zeros on here first. I
yeah,
gotta
there's
figure out
too
how many
many zeros
that
for
is.
me.
What was it? 66. That's 66 million times 0.18 brings the grand total to $11,880,000 is what the state got out of that. $12 million over 20 days. Now, it says North Carolina residents. Are North Carolina residents are the only ones who can vote in North Carolina?
Vote?
Online
Or-
betting? I mean, can
Bet on
can
online
bet on these things? I don't think so.
I don't
North
know how-
Carolinians have
I
been
have no
doing it
idea
in
how that
other
works.
states.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the borders that we
Yeah.
have here. North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, I think West Virginia borders at least one part, right? Georgia, I know borders at least one little corner. We got Tennessee. We got a bunch of states right next door where people could come in and bet. They're not all necessarily North Carolinians. How about the people that fly in here on a regular basis? They land at the airport and they book an extra hour before the next flight, and then they, go over there and do their thing.
Tourism dollars.
How about the jets, the business jets, the corporate jets? How many of those do you think show up in North Carolina on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Do you not think that they would be taking the opportunity for some of these corporate bigwigs from Chicago or wherever to hang over here for an hour or two while their plane refuels and go do their stuff? And then they'll fly on out there to some of the Caribbean islands. Let's take a break. You're live on Local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSMA. Sports betting or not? Should we continue it? Should this be put a halt to it? Once it's here, it's likely to be here forever.
Freedom 97.1.
Chico's Tires, 2320 Wilmington Highway is Jacksonville's oldest tire company. And now Jacksonville's newest tire company is Little Chico's, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard. Little Chico's carries all the major brands and all sizes, such as Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, and many others. And all new tires have warranty. In addition to a great selection of new tires, Little Chico's has used tires starting at only $30. In addition to new and used tires, Little Chico's does brake service, minor auto and truck repair, expert custom window tinting, and towing. So if you need tires, new or used, brake service, minor auto or truck repair, expert window tinting, or if you need a tow, visit Jacksonville's newest tire store, Little Chico's, 1675 North Marine Boulevard. By phone 910-333-0473 for Little Chico's Tire Service, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard, right here in Jacksonville.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local Carrier indoor weather team. Serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967, now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the Carrier experts. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hempstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing. Fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want it painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back live and local. If you've got a comment you want to make here, you'll have a little bit of time before the senator comes on this morning, 910-333-0139. An ex-Marine, I don't call him exes very often, but this guy deserves it, will spend the next 15 years locked away after he pleaded guilty to possession and distribution of child pornography. 33-year-old Jonathan Frew was stationed at Cherry Point when NCIS got a tip from Kick Social Media that this guy had uploaded what appeared to be child pornography multiple times. The investigation was on. Frew was arrested on federal charges. Evidence showed that Frew uploaded 24 such images and videos on one day in a chat room. A search of his Newport home and digital devices found 250 images and 30 videos of child porn. You better hold on to yourself here. The images included young children, infants, and toddlers, as well as images depicting sadistic and masochistic conduct. That means deriving sexual pleasure from rendering pain or receiving pain, right? Mm-hmm. How did this guy get through the psych evaluations?
Sick.
He's 33 years old. Got any of these folks as your patients, Kelly? Putting you on the spot this morning. Or
Yes.
maybe are they the victims of this type of behavior?
Both.
You've got them both.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get any rest at night?
This is why I watch weird, mindless stuff like zombie movies and Married with Children. Like, people don't understand.
To get away from it, huh?
Yeah.
You don't like the real life.
I read a lot too, but yeah, I watch a lot of mindless stuff sometimes when I've had rough days, especially. Yeah, people don't understand that, but it
I
helps.
can understand it.
Yeah, it helps.
You know, just pick anything to get your mind somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the range personally, and I'm not talking about the driving range.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Just, you know,
I've done that too. But,
just put some
yeah.
holes in some pieces of paper out there. Makes you feel better. You
It
smell
does.
that smell of gunpowder going off
That's how I remodeled the inside of my house and took out some walls.
with your gun.
No, it's a gun.
Oh,
I was like, what, shoot
Sledgehammer.
holes in the wall?
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
that's what I was thinking too. Like, wait, what?
I'm gonna tell you what though, it felt good. That's how I remodeled a lot of rooms.
So you have to do it in a you know, a professional way that makes you feel better, right?
Right. Well, I'm in the city. I can't shoot holes in the wall, but
I've used a punching bag too. That was.
I used to have one of those.
I've noticed Robin's black eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one hanging from the ceiling in my garage. I do a lot of boxing.
I boxed and hit. I mean, I broke my hand one time.
You're supposed to use gloves.
I did. I had,
did you?
yeah, but once I didn't. It was just a bad day. But yeah, but the gloves help.
I had a great idea for one of those little things that you can set up and maybe put up in locations, and you get money, a percentage of the money that's taken in. We'll find a corner in any neighborhood bar,
Mm-hmm.
one of those after hours bars, when people come home, and the 5 to 7 o'clock crew,
Mm-hmm.
and have a frustration corner set up. You have to pay a quarter to get in and spend 5 minutes with a punching bag.
Oh, there's even better. Jacksonville now has a rage room.
Oh, really?
And I've got some friends we're getting together. We're going to go to it.
What is a rage room?
Where you go in and break things.
They have tables and stuff set up with bottles and glasses and all sorts of old appliances. You take
People
baseball
get cut
bats.
doing that kind of stuff, won't they?
Well, you wear protective gear.
Protective gear. I'm all about. I'm going to.
I remember when the Ayatollah Khomeini was at large. Remember those days?
Yeah. Yes.
There was a car set up, donated by one of the car dealers in Wilmington,
Mm-hmm.
where people could come out. Didn't cost them a thing.
Mm-hmm. Just come hit that car.
And they got a 10-pound hammer. There was one girl. I was out there. There was one girl. Obviously, she was from a businesswoman. She had her business suit on and had everything, crawled on top of that car and busted the windshields out and beat that car just as hard as she could for her 5 minutes.
It makes you feel good sometimes to do stuff like that. I just, I don't advocate people doing it in their homes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
so go
don't
to
do
a
it
place
at
like
home.
whoever started that rage room
And
here in Jacksonville is a
don't pick
genius.
on your kids or your
No,
spouses
or
your
pets.
dogs. or
Yeah,
cats.
absolutely not.
Go somewhere
my
else.
spouse before I'd hit my dog.
Same.
You don't have one. You got to get married first. Let's take a break. You're live on Local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of these specials and many more at your locally owned and operated Richlands Piggly Wiggly, where good things called Sliss, down the street, Highway 24 Richlands. 10 pounds or more fresh ground beef is only $2.99 a pound. Whole center cut shoulder cod, $4.39 a pound. Whole dog sirloin is only $5.99 a pound. How about whole fresh pig nicks, just $1.19 a pound. Fresh yellow, white, or bicolor corn is only 49 cents an ear. Sweet blueberries are only $2.99 a pint, and you get a 1 pound package of North Carolina grown fresh strawberries for just $2.99. Enjoy down home country cooking in the deli 7 days a week, right there in the store. You can dine in or take out, featuring hot chicken that will make you smile. Country breakfast starts at 5:30 a.m. daily at your Richlands Piggly Wiggly Deli, and it's home to the famous Laurel Bowl. You can also take advantage of the Fast Friendly Pharmacy, also located inside the Richlands Piggly Wiggly. Richlands Piggly Wiggly. Down the street, where good things called Sliss. Highway 24 Richlands. And remember, stay big with the pig.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbin Avenue in Swansboro.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper and print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back here just before I have to take a break for news. And after news, we're going to be talking with Senator Thom Tillis. One of the stories we're going to be talking about with Ask Him, along with the other stuff from yesterday and all this other mess dealing with Iran. He's going to be spending the next 2 hours here, I think. Senator Marsha Blackburn, she's out of Tennessee, is planning to propose new legislative action that would threaten to cut National Public Radio's federal funding if it's passed, prompted by the news that it suspended an editor who went viral for exposing the outlet's partisan uniformity in its newsroom. I'm going to have some clarifications here, explanations here in a second. Okay. The Tennessee Republican is weighing a variety of legislative options to take on federal funding that goes to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which provides funding to NPR in the form of grants. She is specifically looking to prevent NPR from benefiting from public funds due to what her office characterized as left-wing bias. NPR veteran editor Uri Berliner was recently suspended without pay from NPR following his public criticism of his employer. Berliner revealed that there were 87 registered Democrats working in editorial positions at the Washington, D.C. headquarters and no Republicans. He said he had brought the issue to his superiors, but when nothing was done, he published his findings. Whoops. Keep in mind that this involved only the Washington headquarters of NPR. Understand that Washington itself is heavily Democrat. I'm not sure you can find more than 4 Republicans living in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like finding a Democrat here in Onslow County. They're few and far between. So, and the Washington headquarters, sure, that's what was there, no doubt about it. And they do lean extremely left, not a problem. That's their choice. Getting my money, though, to lean either way is not something I would want. Could we fund, how do you think the federal government, federal money would go funding an ultra-conservative organization to provide their version of the news? Huh? How would that go over? Not too good.
Not well at all.
I can tell you that right now. But in Washington, D.C., I would have preferred to see all across the board for Mr. Berliner to go through every employee at working for NPR and then tell me what's what. You may find some in, I don't know, Montana, if there's NPR there. You may find some in the newsroom in NPR, in an NPR station in Montana. They may be all conservatives. You never know. I don't know. I just, doing one spot, that doesn't do it for me. Yes, it's the headquarters, and there should be a little bit more scrutiny. But how do you say to an employee, a potential employee, how are you registered to vote? You can't do it.
No, you shouldn't.
You can't do it.
Ask anybody.
You can't do it. That went out when the former sheriff here in Onslow County left office.
Right.
As it should have.
It should have.
Because when he was a Democrat, people were
No,
Democrats.
I'm talking about prior to that.
I'm talking about, and then he changed over to Republican, and the deputies changed
before
over.
him, two before him,
right?
There was no way in the world could you be serving him if you were anything but a Democrat. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Fox News is now.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. After a day off, former President Trump returns to court for day 3 of jury selection at his criminal trial in New York. Republican National Committee co-chair Laura Trump on Fox.
In the 3 days since they've held Donald Trump in that courtroom, his campaign has raised $3 million. The average donation is $27. $6.
7 jurors are chosen so far. Attorneys for Brian Koberger submitted an alibi saying he was out driving when 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death.
The defense plans to call an expert to prove the defendant's phone was in those locations and not at the murder scene. Prosecutors claim his phone was turned off around the time of the murders, and they can place his vehicle at the scene and his DNA found on the knife sheath under one of the victim's bodies.
Fox's Chanley Painter. 911 outages are reported in Nevada, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Texas. At least most of that service is now restored. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1
WSME.
It's live and local. Real talk.
Okay, we're back, and you're live and local Real Talk here on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 WSME. And as we told you, as we promised, and here's the man all about Washington, D.C., but I'm not sure he's all happy to be all about Washington. Good morning to Mr. Senator. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Rayford?
Oh, that great was one of those sarcastic. I'm great. How are you?
No, really, I am. You got to learn to compartmentalize in this job, man.
Yeah, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes any day of the week. Senator Tillis, welcome to the show. Are you still stuck in D.C.?
I am. In fact, we're likely to be here through the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Section 702. That's the Foreign Surveillance Act
the FISA stuff
that we have to potentially reauthorize. Hope that we do, and then we also have possibly funding bills coming from that House on Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan, and they may send us a TikTok bill. It seems like an odd one based on the other two, but it's a box of chocolates. We'll see what comes up.
Yeah, I saw that. That TikTok thing's going to be interesting. Wow.
Yes.
Let's go to. We got a whole list of them here. We'll go first to yesterday because that's the most recent. Your guys in the Senate, they didn't even get off first base yesterday, where that stuff came from the House to get rid of, or at least take the first step to get rid of Mr. Mayorkas. What happened?
Yeah. Well, I think some of my colleagues, we talked about this the day before yesterday, we have to realize, and I know it's very frustrating to your listeners and folks back home, but you have to understand where you have leverage and where you don't. And yesterday was a classic example of where we had an opportunity to accept an offer from Schumer that would have given us 2 hours to highlight a number of different things, not the least of which is this, how horribly Biden and Mayorkas have managed the border. Mm-hmm. So, but people would not have followed it. But the first thing he offered was 2 hours of debate, several points of order, which you saw a few yesterday, and then it would be a vote on to dismiss or not, which is one, going to have a trial. We at least wanted to have that vote, but we had a member object to that. And so after that objection, Schumer says, okay, then I'm going to run it the way I want to run it. And he shut us down. And
boy.
What he did on the one hand, what he did was wrong. On the other hand, it was in response to us just saying no to something that would have given us a platform. But it went down pretty much the way I expected it would. And it's where I think we should have been strategic. We should have used those 2 hours to explain to the American people that Biden is making the country less safe. Mayorkas is doing a horrible job. He needs to be fired. I think that at least in the second article, there was a case to be made for where he's violating the law. But we never got to that point. Having said that, the American people are sick of the Biden administration and its failed border policy, and I believe it's going to have good consequences for us in November.
Okay. I don't know that we can wait till November, but anyway, that's just a personal insight here. We had one of our listeners, regular caller. He's not a Trump supporter, not a Trump fan, and he leans both ways at times, but generally more liberal, or more towards the president than he does anything else. And he says, Mayorkas was doing nothing but carrying out the policies that he was told to carry out. He's following orders from headquarters, from Biden. So why should he be punished for that?
I think it's a fair argument. And in fact, you could argue that if and the extension of that is that why not impeach Biden?
That's what I said.
Because I mean, honestly, on the same basis, what he is saying is, to the extent you believe a law was broken, it's probably not what he expected in response. But it seems like to me you would, by extension, at least in the second article, say Biden is breaking the law by not following it or by not enforcing it. The converse of that is anybody in government who listened to Mayorkas, who listened to Biden, who executed the order should probably be fired too, because by extension they broke the law. But
Sure.
but all that's academic at this point. What I regret about yesterday is we missed the opportunity to at least explain why we objected to the president's management or mismanagement of the order, why we're objecting to Mayorkas. And that was because it only takes one member of the U.S. Senate to do what happened yesterday. We had a member of ours, in this case it was Eric Schmidt, who objected. And so Mike Lee, Ted Cruz, a lot of other people were prepared to use that time to communicate to the American people. And one of our colleagues decided he didn't want to do that, and it got shut down.
Well, shame on him. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, well, team ball is tough up in the Senate, particularly when one senator has so much power. Some of them maybe exercise it a little bit more often than they should in favor of team ball. But, it's, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to complain. I volunteered to do this job.
There you go. Iran sent up about 300 missiles and drones into Israel. Of course, they gave plenty of notice to Israel and to the rest of the world that it's coming. And then Israel and a bunch of us and a bunch of them by the U.S. were shot down before they did any damage. And then the Biden guy comes out and he says, listen, Libby, Mr. Bibi, they didn't hit anything. Don't retaliate. There's no need to retaliate just because they sent 300 things in your direction trying to kill you. There's no need to retaliate. What do you think?
You know what? Rayford, we have to keep in mind that's while bombs were dropping and on the way to Israel.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the American people would say to Bibi Netanyahu if Iran, and they will have the capabilities, was able to launch a similar strike on U.S. soil?
Mm-hmm.
How the American people and the American president would react to that? There has to be a response. My gosh, you know what? But I don't know. I don't think Biden thinks things through. Think this through. You're telling the leader of a sovereign nation that you want the Israeli people to be okay with several hundred ballistic missiles and drones coming your way because the Iron Dome, David Sling, and allies prevented them from blowing people up, and that's the new normal. How does that work? How does that work for tourism? How does that work for business? What Biden is basically saying, we want Tehran to be able to strangle the life out of the country of Israel. That was irresponsible. They absolutely have to have a response. It will probably be measured, but it has to happen. You can't possibly not respond to the scope and scale of the attack.
Well, the only one good thing about it, they lost 300 missiles. The bad thing about it, we lost at least that many. We and Israel and the other allies lost at least that many shooting that stuff down. So it's a very expensive, non-playing event, except good training for some of us, I guess. It didn't fare so well for Iran. But they've got to have a heck of a war-building machine to be able to furnish that much stuff. Does Iran have all that capability?
They do, and keep in mind, a lot of that, here's the sick reality of Iran right now. You have to keep in mind that Obama sent them billions of dollars when they signed the JCPOA, the nuclear agreement that was rescinded by President Trump. So the sick irony of what happened yesterday is money is fungible. So U.S. dollars, hundreds of billions, $150 billion that went to Iran is a part of funding that war machine that you saw on display over the weekend.
Great.
We should not send a dime to Iran. We should shut them down. We should make it virtually impossible for them them to sell their energy. We should do everything we can to free the Iranian people and remove the mullahs that have destroyed an otherwise peaceful nation in the Middle East.
You know, I seem to recall studying in U.S. history prior to World War II, the United States was supplying a country called Japan with all sorts of metal and everything else, and then they shot it back at us.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, well, the positive side of that one is that it was a week ago today that the Japanese Prime Minister stood before the American people in a joint session of Congress and thanked the United States for their leadership, their partnership,
That's
and
cool.
asked the United States to support Ukraine because it matters to Japan. So think about that. A Pacific nation coming before the American people, and one of the primary objectives of that speech was to say, please support Ukraine, because they understand that China hopes that we don't.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. China's not a good friend of Japan or anybody else except Russia and maybe North Korea. Senator Blackburn, she says, we need to take a second look at NPR federal funding in light of the...
Well, I love Senator Blackburn, and I think we always have to be looking at funding. Look, I want objective reporting,
Mhm.
and I think what Senator Blackburn is talking about is not unlike what I had the broadcasters up in my office a couple of weeks ago, because they want to make sure that AM radios are in cars.
Oh,
and they want to
please.
make sure that people understand that that broadcast is the last line of defense for communications. I can buy that argument at some level, but here's what I told them. If you want to come to Washington and talk about the critical importance of broadcast media, then be broadcast media, not political pundits. You can't. I mean, there are a number of outlets that have become biased. They're not objective reporting. So if it's going to fall on deaf ears, whether it's a liberal outlet or a conservative outlet. If you come in and say, we've got to preserve this on the airwaves, and you've chosen not to be an objective reporter of fact, and leave it to the listeners or viewers to decide, and you've become a politician, then expect to be treated like a politician.
There you go. I understand. I totally agree with that.
I agree.
That's why we do go out and let people have what they want to say on this show.
Fair and balanced, Rayford. Fair and
Well,
balanced.
Yes, sir.
I've been accused of being a little bit less than balanced in my life, but sometimes, the older you get, the less balance you have. But let's see, what else did we have here? I think that was pretty much what. You ladies have anything?
Oh gosh, so much has happened
Yes.
lately. It's
Yeah.
just hard keeping up with everything.
What are we going to
but-
read about from your office next week that I haven't
Right.
heard this week?
Well, I think the main thing, and I know that some listeners, hopefully the listeners down in your neck of the woods that have so many ties to the military will understand we have to support Ukraine. And I've had a brief discussion with President Trump about this. I think President Trump's changed his posture a bit. Your viewers need to understand, if we fail to support Ukraine, we increase the odds that more American money and blood will be on the line. And it's just like I said, when you have the prime minister of a nation on the other side of the world talking about the money that they're putting into Ukraine and the support that they are providing Ukraine, it's not because they're in a neighborhood that they want to make safer. It's because they've got somebody in their neighborhood who hopes the United States fails to support Ukraine. Because if Russia succeeds in Ukraine, China will begin to march. And so next week, I hope the news story is the U.S. Senate passes Ukraine aid bill to President's desk, because we want to number the days that Vladimir Putin is going to be in office, and the best, or on this earth for that matter. And the best way to do that is to sustain the investment in Ukraine and prevail.
We got no problem with that. There's a little note in one of your newsletters, I guess, over the weekend. Seymour Johnson. I was not aware that the 335th Fighter Squadron from Seymour was pretty involved in downing the Iranian missiles last week.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a great story to tell. That's up that we ought to do on a future show is that, we talk so much about Fort Bragg / Fort Liberty, and we talk about Camp Lejeune / Camp Lejeune. But we probably ought to spend some time just talking about what the critical role of Seymour Johnson plays in the U.S. arsenal. It's a wonderful story to tell. That's just one example, but we have so many others.
We need to do that.
Maybe we should talk about also, Elizabeth City Coast Guard Air Station, the most massive in the United States. Maybe we could have a segment where all we talk about are all these assets. They're not just down in your neck of the woods or up in the Northeast, but over in Charlotte, with our National Guard. It'd be a lot of fun to just let the folks in North Carolina know just what a concentration of U.S. might there is in our great state.
We are a military state, and we are protecting not only North Carolina in that regard, we're protecting the world, as we did last week with Seymour Johnson's role. We're part of it. Now, who is this guy who wants to defund and get rid of Seymour Johnson? Move it out? Close it down?
What?
Well, don't worry about that.
Okay.
We're working on it. I mean, Seymour Johnson's got a great place. It will play a very vital role. There's always ways as you're going around and trying to squeeze nickels out to fund defense. You've always got to be vigilant to make sure that you're taking care of the operations that are critical. But, we've got to do a better job of funding the military. We got to do a better job of being more efficient and leaner in the military, spending the right money on the right things. But, we've always got to be looking for those threats. Rayford, I tell everybody, I'm going to fight for every dollar in North Carolina that makes the most sense for defending our nation. But a lot of the waste in government right now are other senators fighting for money in their states for the DOD, not because it makes the most sense, but because they have the power to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it would be immoral to fight for any dime in North Carolina that, if in my heart of hearts, I believe it could be better spent somewhere else, because this is about the defense of our nation and the defense of democracy. Now, the good news is Seymour Johnson and Fort Liberty have a good story to tell, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. You just have to have advocates like me and Ted Budd fighting for them.
Go for it. We're out there. We're right behind you, of course. Senator, thank you. Thanks for your time. And I'd like to get on the air for those unknown places, or there's seldom talked about places not making headline news.
Well,
the Coast Guard stations, Elizabeth City, of course, and I don't know. Does Elizabeth City still have blimps? I got to do
I don't
a check
know, but
on
the
that.
next time you come this way, Senator, we need you to come into the studio. We'll give you the whole show that morning.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd love to do that. We ought to figure out whether or not we can do that during the August recess. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, we haven't. You haven't been to Jacksonville in a while.
I haven't.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to make
get
it
down
happen.
there. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to the Norwegian foreign minister last night in my office. The Marines have a close connection to Norway. And,
Yes, they do.
And we're going to try and get him down there too. Although I told him we could jump out of a plane. He wasn't particularly interested in that.
Well, maybe he could get up on one of the towers, one of the cranes there at the state ports, and lean over like you did.
I'll do that again too, Ray. But like I said, I'd like to bungee off of it too.
Yeah, your wife will strangle you if you
I'm
try.
sure there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are mad at me politically. Wouldn't mind me jumping off of it either.
Sure, no doubt about that. We'll provide some mattresses, soft landing, no problem.
We got your back.
All right, Senator, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah, y'all take care. Have a great day.
You too. Let's take a break. You're live on Local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Marine weather and rest of the weather is up next.
Hey, this is Chris Rainer. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on Sports Talk. We have the Meadows brothers in here, Louis and Melvin Meadows from the 1978-79 White Oak High School baseball teams. They went 52-0, won back-to-back state titles, and had a great run that's still in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association state record books. Tune in tomorrow morning on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all their jewelry needs. For every special occasion, they understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and paid top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
If you're looking for a home, or perhaps you want to sell your house, why would you not pick a realtor that knows Eastern North Carolina? Candy Brown Thompson has lived her entire life in this area and knows the territory like the back of her hand. She's a realtor with Century 21 Champion in Jacksonville and is known as a professional that will do everything possible to find the right home to meet your needs. It matters not whether you're looking for a small starter home or you're ready for a larger home. Candy will stick her neck out and check out homes throughout the eastern part of the state. She's known to look high and low and show you as many houses as you want until you have found the perfect house you can turn into a home. Throughout the process, she'll treat you with grace, kindness, and integrity, and you'll love her sense of humor. For a realtor dedicated to her clients, give Candy Brown Thompson of Century 21 Champion a call at 910-787-5600. That's 910-787-5600.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Our Marine Outlook is courtesy of Community Prevention Services right here in Jacksonville. At one time or another, I guarantee you, most of us may need a little help with issues that seem insurmountable. Sometimes we can get help from a friend, a minister, or, whoever. Whether it's a problem with your job or it's family related, sometimes just being able to talk with a professional who's trained in being able to offer support can get you on the right track. Some folks feel alone, maybe thinking the world is working against them at times. Don't despair. Call the professional folks at Community Prevention Services here in Jayville. The staff will help you work through the issues you're experiencing. Everyone at one time or another needs a helping hand. And at Community Prevention Services, the staff will provide you with quality, confidential counseling for anybody between 7 and 100. And if you are over 100, they'll do that too. Call them today, 910-353-0972. Don't wait until the problem becomes a crisis. Community Prevention Services, 918 Henderson Drive, 910-353-0972. We got some good news today weather-wise. The surf water temperature, and this is for you fishermen who love Spanish mackerel, is in the mid-60s and climbing. That's when the bonito are already biting. We know that, and there are lots of reports of that happening now. Right behind that, and already mixed in with the schools of bonito, you'll see an increase in Spanish mackerel along the beaches. Take advantage of the good weather and calm seas forecast and pick up some fish for dinner. Offshore today, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet, dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Tomorrow, easterly winds 10 to 15 with seas 2 to 3 feet, dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And on Saturday, gets better, southwesterly winds 5 to 10, becoming southerly in the afternoon, seas 2 to 3 feet, seas and rivers, sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today, sunny, high of 86. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 60. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 79. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, a low of 61. And on Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 82 with about 15-mile-an-hour gusts on Saturday. But Sunday and Monday, it's going to rain.
What happens when you change your name to something stupid, like Young Thug? There's a rapper in it.
Yeah, there's a rapper, yeah.
Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis isn't the only person in that office who's in trouble with judges. Chief Deputy District Attorney Adrienne Love and Fulton County Judge Earl Glanville got into a heated shouting match when the judge ruled that the evidence Love wanted to introduced and should be.
Mhm.
Happened during the trial of rapper Young Thug.
He's very popular.
Really?
You're very popular.
The judge ruled that the evidence Love wanted to introduce would be excluded, made her hot under the collar. The judge asked Love if prosecutors had discussions with the evidence about the evidence with the defense team. As Love began voicing her frustration, Glanville said, "Well, then you all should have gotten yourself together beforehand."
Yeah.
A back and forth continued with Love actually shouting at the judge, not a way to win friends in a courtroom, nor a way to make a point with the judge. By the way, the aforementioned Mr. Thug is being tried on the murder charge in Hotlanta.
Yeah, it's a murder, and they had like a criminal enterprise ring going on. But you can't, the judge is a ruling authority in the courtroom.
Oh, yeah.
You can't act a fool. I actually saw that story and an excerpt of that.
Go fight with the judge. You're going to suffer.
I mean, but
Now
this
and in
happens
the
a lot.
future.
I think this is a classic example of either your job's gone to your head or you're just too big for your britches, because he was they were talking about, this, he's correct. This information should have been entered into way prior to when she was trying to do it. People do have rights, even though they're standing trial. There's still a procedure that you have to follow. And I think a lot of time, and I've even seen it here in Onslow County, a lot of these lawyers on both sides, this DA side as well as defendant side, seem to forget that. They withhold, discovery, or they wait till last minute. They do this, and
Try to sneak it in.
Yeah, and people still have rights.
Further into that story, Rayford, where the prosecutor kept yelling at the judge. Well, the defense attorney tried to say something to the judge, like, she's out of line. You've already ruled. She shouldn't be making these motions. She needs to stop. And then the prosecutor got mad, and she started yelling at the defense attorney, going like, "How dare you interrupt me? This is my time, blah, blah, blah." It got so bad, the bailiff actually he started yelling and told them both to stop talking. And the bailiff intervened.
Wow.
It was something.
And the jury was not in there for this. They had been.
They had to be called back in.
And then called back in.
How do they come back in there, and how does a defense and prosecutor? Oh my goodness, that had to be a mess.
Messy. The judge made his ruling.
I saw a district attorney, the district attorney in New Hanover County many years ago. First name was Jerry. I won't tell you his last name, but anyway, he got into a shouting match with the judge. Guess where he went?
Yes.
To jail.
Absolutely.
Contempt of court.
Yes.
Well, that prosecutor, that woman right there, she should have gotten contempt.
I'm telling you, it's an example of being too
Argue
big for
with
your
the judge.
britches.
Yeah.
This is bottom
That
line.
DA had to be brought back to court when he agreed
Mhm.
to apologize
They knew how to
for
act.
his
Yeah,
stupidity.
right. Yes.
Basically was the bottom line.
Yeah.
And he did. He didn't want to stay in that jail. Jail ain't nice.
Well, I've got a story for you.
Okay.
And this is a scary story. And this also, I think this would be a mom group.
Uh-oh.
The vigilante mom group. Let them deal with this.
Do y'all have a session over at your place
I'm
and
not
sit down on
telling
a
you any of
couch
that.
and maybe sit back and say, analyze each other and see what the problems
There's a
are?
group of moms. We get together sometimes and we have this, we talk about this hypothetical, what we would do if, like one time, it all started years ago when someone says, well, name some things you'd actually go to jail for. And I'll revert it back to someone hurting their kids or, whatever.
Isn't that called premeditation, what you're doing? Just in case something happens?
No.
Ooh, okay.
No. Anyway, I think it's Michigan, but let me be, I think it's Michigan. So last week, the sheriff there of Genesee, and I know I'm probably not saying that right, county, held a press conference on April 12th. And she's eating her tomatoes.
Eating your tomatoes.
And he wanted to, so an investigation last fall began into a home. So parents of a young girl, doesn't list how old she is, found a hidden camera in her bedroom.
Uh-oh.
And it was disguised as a cell phone charger.
Yeah,
and,
it happened. They've got 'em.
the police showed up and said, innocent. And the guy who it belonged to was a caregiver for a special needs family member. He wasn't a family member. He was like someone hired to come in and be like a home health aide type of thing for a special needs family member. He's 30 years old, and he has been charged with 30 counts 30 charges of possession of child porn and using a computer to commit a crime, and he's being held on a $600,000 cash bond. They found 294 pieces of child porn on his phone with other images of victims around the world. Not just he was watching this little girl, but not
He's
just her.
part of a group.
Oh yeah, and the
Of
sheriff
freaks.
said, this is he held up the guy's cell phone, and he said, "This is the creepy white van in the 21st century."
Yes, right.
Back in the day, it was always a white van. He said, "These are young girls, less than 10. Oh, geez, with grown men. Some of the images depicted on his phone." And the parents say the parents are see this. You see why the mom group say they would like 5 minutes with this too. But this girl is traumatized. The parents are traumatized because you're in your own home. Who would have thought? I mean, he's creeping out, peeping on her. And my mind immediately went, at what point would he have actually attacked her? I mean, I just think it was leading to that. But it is scary to think that nowadays we have to check our homes when we have workers coming in for hidden cameras.
Yes.
I mean, I've got cameras all in my house, in the hallways, not in the bedrooms. Just, so if someone comes in my house to work, they're going to be tracked. I mean, bottom line. But still.
See flashes of light.
We have a caller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, you counselors are missing the boat here. Pardon the pun. You need to counsel some of these individuals and give them a trip on a boat to go fishing. It's as simple as that.
We can't take people on outings like that. I'm not risking my license over that. No way. Have them fall off the boat? No. There'd be an investigation.
Jurisdiction. Not a big deal.
Uh-huh.
Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, gang. How you doing?
Chris, how are you?
Hey, Chris.
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for asking. I got the good, the bad, the ugly for today.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right.
I fit part of that.
Rayford, it's not bad, actually.
Okay.
Other little bit. So the good is we still have some Crime Stopper tickets available.
Oh, do you?
If people want to call me. And I had a lot of individual people call. And yes, I will make arrangement. I delivered one ticket Saturday evening at 6:30 to someone that wanted to support Crime Stoppers. So,
Well, I've already used my 2. Maybe I need to get 2 more.
Well, that's what I tell people that want them individually. And one day you get barbecue, the next you get chicken. They're both good. But they have to be used at Smith Fields on Gun Branch Road, and tickets are $10. And,
Well, let me tell you a little bit about those tickets there. The meal itself costs you more than that at Smithfield. I found out when I was over there getting mine. You'll pay more with the tax on it than you get. My goodness gracious, this is a deal. And not only that, but Crime Stoppers gets the benefit of it.
Please don't
Thank
let
you,
me
Rayford.
forget.
That's a great commercial for you.
Seriously. Yeah. And the guy was just as friendly and there as anything you went. Matter of fact, I paid money for an extra one because I had 3 people here, but that's all right. No big deal.
Well, Rayford, we appreciate your support as well.
Well, I need 2 more
and the whole
tickets.
Radio stations.
I got time
I'm sorry,
until
2 more?
I got the time until the end of the month to use them, and I will be using them.
Yeah, I'll get another one, Chris. I just don't let me forget to use it.
Don't forget to use it. We'll just call one day and we'll all go get them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Chris will deliver them to
some of the
us.
schools, some of the Onslow County schools have taken part in it as well. We appreciate their support.
Yeah.
They either have a teacher day where they all kind of eat, although they don't eat at the same time, but they all are supporting it, and we appreciate Onslow County Schools and the administration and the staff.
Well, let me give you a plug there for those guys. I don't eat fried chicken a lot, but I got fried chicken
that's my
because this fried
favorite.
chicken was so crispy and so juicy and so delicious. The slaw and the potato salad. That's the stock thing. I don't know if you can mix it up or not. I don't care. That's what I wanted. That's what I got. Their slaw is so sweet and so good. It's just mouth watering. The potato salad was smooth and nice. And the chicken, like I say, crispy and delicious. I couldn't eat it all, but I ate the drumstick the next morning for breakfast.
That's the good one to say too, by the way. Or if you get the dark or the white, you can always have a chicken sandwich with their chicken.
There you go.
Oh,
My wife my wife gets the white, I get the dark. So we good to go.
Yeah. I can make
Like
two
the way you
meals
do
out
it.
of one plate.
Mhm.
They give you so much.
Oh, they do. They're just they're so giving, and they're so helpful, and always have been to Crime Stoppers. I want to say thank you.
Yes, and thanks to those guys out there.
The bad, I hear there might be a bill going out, another aid bill by a guy in Washington, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This one, I don't know how many people are going to support. He's going to create a bill of aid for Caitlin Clark.
Huh? What?
Yeah. Well, but you see, he doesn't think she's being paid enough as an WNBA player.
What?
It's a little joke, just a little joke. But seriously, does this president have nothing better to do with his time other than playing marbles and stuff?
He's missing a few.
To publicly go, women are being underpaid. We know women are underpaid. We understand that. But you're going to make a big issue about a WNBA player who got drafted and is only going to make $370,000.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Playing, mind you, basketball.
And you don't have to do it all year round.
No, you don't have to.
You can get a side job the rest of the year.
But he's supposed to be the leader of our country, and that's what he wants to go into the media and say, I think this is wrong. She's being underpaid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
now the ugly.
Go, Rayford.
Now the ugly. What we got ugly wise?
The ugly.
The good, the bad,
Actually,
the ugly.
The ugly is I don't understand it except a little bit. I do not appreciate that Senator Tillis getting on there. I did want to clarify the ugly part of a comment I made last week. I believe it was last week about Dr. Biden.
Yes.
My point on the ugly was the media, as Senator Tillis just mentioned. When Donald Trump is president, how did they refer to his wife when she was making trips?
Not as the first lady.
First lady.
Uh-huh.
No, you're correct. First lady. What did they call Michelle Obama?
First lady.
So why do they have to change her from first lady to Dr. Biden? Dr. Biden's going to be here. Dr. Biden's going to be here. She's the first lady.
Trying to emphasize that she's a doctor, has a doctorate degree.
Yeah. And Kelly, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. What you had mentioned, but yeah, I did understand she's not really a medical doctor; it's a doctorate degree. But I think she should be referred to as the first lady is visiting North Carolina.
Yeah,
I agree she should be called the first lady
Now,
because she is the first lady.
If she was a medical doctor, I would, to be honest with you, it's kind of like Dr. Murphy. He's told us right up front, I'm a doctor first. That's my profession. I'm a congressman, but you can call me Dr. Murphy, 3rd District Representative, or whatever. I respect that. And if she was a medical doctor and that was her profession, refer to her as Dr. Biden if she chooses, the First Lady of the United States. But I don't think she's ever asked for that I know of. Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll find out.
We'll see. Maybe Theo, my buddy, can.
Yeah, maybe he'll know. Maybe he's got first contact with her. He's got her number.
Oh well.
So do I, but it's a different one.
I hope those three take advantage of your offer that you folks did and got them invited to Saturday.
Yep. Okay, I do need to get two more. I got $20 waiting for you. You want another one?
I want another one.
All right, so we'll take care of that. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
All right, you too. Got another Chris on the line. Hey, Chris, how are you? It's Miller time, but can you hold on just a minute?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, can you hold on for just a minute? Let's pay a bill.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll be right back here live and local Real Talk. Don't go away. It's Miller time up next.
Coming up on the next Goddard's Gold Rock and Roll All-Stars. Boy, we got the stories, music, and interviews. Four Seasons, James Brown, Marvin Gaye, Elton John, Three Dog Night, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, Mitch Ryder. Oh, definitely a group of rock and roll all-stars next to go. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 a.m. WSME.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only cover protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home that's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2023 in the flooring covering and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering, they're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering, you stand on it, we stand behind it.
Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of the following specials and many more at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store and downtown Maysville on Main Street. Remember, the Piggly Wiggly's where good things cost less. How about 10 pounds or more of fresh ground beef, just $2.99 a pound. Whole center cut shoulder clod, $4.39 a pound. Whole top sirloin is only $5.99 a pound. Whole fresh picnic, just $1.19 a pound. Fresh yellow, white, or bicolor corn is only 49 cents an ear, and you get a pint of sweet blueberries for just $2.99. And a 1 pound package of North Carolina grown fresh strawberries is only $2.99 a pound. And remember, they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's farm chicken, and the pork and beef is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, Main Street, Maysville. Also, you get a 5 pound bag of russet potatoes for just $2.99 a bag, and a 2 pound bag of Western apples is only $2.99. And you get 2 8-packs of Cocoa Sprite for $9. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, down the street, where good things cost less. Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
And we're back. And again, Chris Miller, welcome back. It's Miller time. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's been a great show this morning, as always.
Appreciate that. Been interesting.
Yeah. So, I've mentioned it multiple times the last couple of weeks, but did want to give one more shout out to the Jack Alonso Sports Commission and all the inductees of Tuesday's Jack Alonso Sports Hall of Fame event. Things went well. You could definitely tell, the inductees, it really meant a lot to them and their high school communities, especially those White Oak baseball teams from 1978, 79. Those gentlemen are a little bit up there in age, but they're still proud of what they accomplished, nearly 40 years ago. And it was really great to kind of to chat with those gentlemen in particular and share some story, hear some stories. So it was a great atmosphere great event overall on Tuesday night.
Yeah, well, it's a good story. I saw that in the paper. Good for you. Thank you.
Yeah, and that we did several different features on the different inductees.
Yes.
The baseball team and Coach Marshburn from Northside High School and Jack Brown. I mean, and that was the cool thing is each one had their own different story and their own how they got there and a lot of these individuals, not the 78, 79 baseball team, and unfortunately wasn't able to cover Amanda Duffy over at Dixon because that was before my time. But Stephanie Rose, Jack Brown, and Tony Marshburn, I covered them or covered their team. So it was that was pretty neat that people that you've covered throughout the years get recognized like that. So when they make Rayford, you know this, when they make a comment in their speech about well, this happened in this game or this happened in that practice, you know exactly what they're talking about because you were there.
Yep.
So
that makes a difference.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, makes a difference. Good. Yeah, you played a big role in all of that stuff too the whole time with reporting on it. When you work with these people, you understand what's going on. You understand some of the behind the scenes things, and the good part for Onslow County residents who read the paper, they understand what's going on because you convey it to them. There's more than just the headlines that make a story.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I think high school sports in particular. We don't have a college, we don't have a professional team. We do have the All-Sprays coming, and they're going to get a lot of good coverage and throughout the summertime, and a lot of those individuals are going to come through different walks of life and have pretty cool stories to tell. But high school sports, each high school community, White Oak, Jacksonville, Northside, of course, Southwest and Swansboro, Richland, Dixon areas, all those, Campo June, all those different high school communities have their own little, they're their own little communities, and
yes.
They each have different stories to tell, and one community might have a great softball team, but another school may have a great basketball team, and so it's pretty neat that we have kids from all different walks of life and all playing these sports. And and like I've told you, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, most of our great high school athletes are also great student athletes because they know the importance of taking care of business where they really need to take care of business at. So it's great to see that we have some really smart and talented young people here in Onslow County.
Yeah, they got to remember, and I'm sure that they do. I'm sure it's being preached to them on a daily basis by their coaches, if not their teachers. I'm sure by their teachers, but likely by their coaches too. You know what? Not all of y'all going to get out of here, going to leave school, whether it's college or wherever it is. You're not all going to get out and go out there and make a fortune in professional athletics or even in college ball. All of you ain't going to make it there. So you better have something to fall back on, right?
Well, exactly. And excuse me. And that's one thing that these coaches, whether it's a female sport or male sport, and I'll just use interviews after a game. Sometimes a young lady or a young gentleman maybe doesn't want to talk or doesn't feel comfortable talking to the newspaper person after a ball game or whatever, but the coach is there and kind of helping that young person along the way, and the kid may feel uncomfortable, but the coach is trying to explain to him, hey, you may have to do this. You're going to have to do this when you're after high school, after college. This is like a job interview, and you're going to be asked questions about what do you like, and what about your talents and things like that. So, it's good to get used to it now after a baseball game or after a soccer game, and at least you're prepared for it a little bit, So these coaches do a great job of making sure these kids are prepared in all walks of life, cleaning the field after a ball game or so on and so forth, just to learn a little bit of work ethic and some life lessons that they'll use down the road.
Yep. Very good.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Last week, Kelly brought up lacrosse, so that got me interested in it, and I started following Swansboro. And the last I heard was that the Swansboro boys were like one win away for setting a record this season. How are they doing?
Well, they're doing really well. They've they have set a school record with victories in the season. They don't play as many games. They play about the same number of games as they do football. They basically play maybe once a week. So they're about 10 wins now, which is school record, and they're doing really well. They did fall short against Croatan about a week ago or a couple weeks ago. Croatan's really strong program. So,
Was that the
Croatan's
one?
going to kind of be the alpha dog.
Was that the one that
area
beat them like 16-0? I think it was.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Was that the one that they lost 16-0?
That might have been, yeah. I have to go back and check the scores, but yeah, I can't remember if it was 16-0 or they might have scored, but yeah. But they play some tough teams, and the lacrosse and Oslo Academy continues to take small steps to get better and better and get participation numbers up. And but I remember when it first started several years ago, and they it was a little bit of a struggle, but the lacrosse officials and coaches and players have really worked hard, the parents, to establish a lot of interest, and we'll see how they go going forward.
Okay. Hey, Chris, thank you for your time, sir, as always.
All right, thank you, my friend.
All right, take care. We'll see you next
Chris.
week. You're live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. During the break, I want you to think about the number 44. 44. What does that bring to your memory?
WSME.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, and Case knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and cuts and threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington grill from Williams Hardware. Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City. Open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware. 252-726-7158.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Since the 1930s, people have trusted the local law offices of Attorney John Drew Warlick for personal injury, family law representation, and traffic offenses. That's over 90 years serving the legal needs of people throughout Onslow County, which makes the law offices of John Drew Warlick your hometown law firm. So when you need the services of an attorney, and at some point most people will, the law offices of Attorney John Drew Warlick is here for you. For an appointment, phone 910-455-7700 or visit their location, 313 New Bridge Street, right here in downtown Jacksonville.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back, and I asked the question, what's significant about the number 44? A couple of things. you won't talk about. But what would be significant in your minds about the number 44? Today. It's about today.
About today.
No, Chris, it's not what you said.
Day, as in the day today, or this time?
No, this day. Okay, well, I won't tell you what it is. June 1st is 44 days from now. June 1st is the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season.
Why you have to bring that up?
A university at North Carolina State University, in fact, is predicting an active hurricane season with several named storms. NC State. Really? They did that in Colorado last week or week before last, right? And they said there's going to be a more active hurricane season, more named storms this year than normal. In fact, Colorado State said more named storms than any time since they've been predicting it. Since,
I think they said.
Yeah, something like that. North Carolina State says, they're saying 15 to 20. North Carolina State's named storms. More active than in previous years. It is time to think about some things, and we've talked about it with severe weather preps, and we'll be talking about it some more as we go along. Not to beat a dead horse or anything, or to make everybody scared, but to be prepared, feeling comfortable with what you've got and what you know that you can do. And yes, there's always the unknown. Think about the worst case scenarios, prepare for them, and then anything better than that, you're cool, you're good to go. Better to think about what can happen and then not happen, but you're prepared for it, than to it happen and you're not prepared.
True, but I mean, I was just sitting here thinking 44 named storms is going to go. We're going to
No,
all
I
that.
didn't say 44 named storms.
Oh,
I said it's 44 days from today. Is
Oh, I
June
thought you
1st.
said 44 named storms. I'm
No.
sitting here thinking.
Yeah,
No.
okay. Well, I'm going to need couch room because you're stressing me out and
No,
we're not
it's
even
not
here yet.
We're not going to get stressed out. We're just
44 days till then?
yeah, 44 days to June 1st.
Yes.
I need to get my little lanterns back.
Okay, 1st of May too. Going to remind you again, 1st of May and again on the 15th here in Onslow
15th is
County.
my birthday.
I know. You can go get your new weather radio.
I do need to get
my
one.
brother-
of
You can go to
That's
Swansboro to get it and get it programmed while you're there
And
at the
Rich
Piggly
Lance.
Wiggly and pick up some beef too. They got some great beef
I
there.
need to get.
So
to get
you
a
need to
weather
do
radio.
that. If you're not going to do it, we can make arrangements with a husband to go get
Okay.
it for you,
Okay.
to get it programmed. Okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Donnie Cox from WCTI, he'll be there on the 1st. He's going to be at the Piggly Wiggly in Richlands, and on the 15th at the Piggly Wiggly. And this is about 6 o'clock in the evening, or from I forgot. I'll get the times again. Did he say 4 to 6 or 4? Whenever. Members of the Ham Radio Club here, they're also going to be involved. So we got a. Today's Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a network tonight. I'll find out.
Okay.
And on
the
May
times.
1st, if you go get your weather radio, go inside Piggly Wiggly, pick up a few extra cans
Yep,
of
there you go.
food.
And get ready
Get
for
ready for the big food drive on May 11th,
May 11th. There you go.
which is sponsored by the United States Postal Service.
Yep. So that's Saturday, May 11th. That's the other thing we need to talk about. Go
Oh,
through
we
your
will.
go through your hurricane pantry
Mhm.
and all that stuff in there that you bought last year, getting
I've
ready
eaten
for it.
most
If
of
as
it.
long as it's still in date,
Yeah, I've already ate. I've already eaten mine.
Yeah, I've eaten
we'll go buy
mine.
some more and
Yeah.
give it to them. I won't be going to the big box store where I can get them by the bushel.
Right.
Cool
Get a
stuff.
case of beans or something.
I'm going. Your postal guy's going to be mad at me.
No, he won't. He will love you.
Okay.
They'll send somebody out to on these
Nope.
walking routes. They'll send somebody.
This is not a walking route.
Yes,
Mine's
it is.
not.
Your mailbox is on the house.
He walks up to the mailbox from his truck in the store on the road.
Yeah. Well, still, it's a walking.
Okay. Anyway, we'll be talking about that more as time goes by
Yes.
tomorrow. We don't have anybody scheduled yet.
Not
You're working on a couple things, I know.
Yes, I've got a few things in the wind.
Okay. Have a great rest of your day coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. Another dose of the Daily D's at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Rick's going to throw it just as hard as he can straight at Hollywood. And Hollywood's going to do everything he can to catch it and not miss. And then he'll continue with all the great sounds that I grew up with and the sounds that I still love to hear. Right now, it's another dose. It's another dose of the Fox News break. How's that? Live and local, Real Talk Freedom,
Yes.
97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. Fox News is now.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.